What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This we're back on the predictions. We're going to be predicting another player that I believe the Lions will sign in free agency. So let's get it started. Okay, we have done two players now. We did Ted Karras, who I thought they would sign in free agency, now with losing Graham Glasgow, and they are also losing their tackle, Rick Wagner, who they decided to cut. So I don't know if we'll get to the right tackle or not, but we'll just have to wait and see. Who else did I have to sign? I had to sign DJ Reader. Now today I'm predicting Detroit Lions will sign Jimmy Smith, the cornerback from the Baltimore Ravens. And a lot of people don't even know much about Jimmy Smith because he kind of fell off and he kind of went under the radar recently, and he really shouldn't because he's a very talented cornerback with a couple of hiccups when it comes to injuries throughout his entire career that has just been on and off. That's really held him back from being an elite cornerback at times, but he was still one of the best in the game. He was a former first-round pick, and he's still a very solid cornerback today. So I think the Lions are going to go with more of a veteran presence when it comes to a cornerback of this offseason. I think they're going to sign a veteran, kind of a cheaper deal to go across from Darius Slay, and then draft another cornerback to potentially be a replacement for Darius Slay and a second cornerback, and to pair with Amani Oruwariye later down the road. So maybe like a mid-round pick they'll take, or maybe sixth round or something like that. Again, they'll take another cornerback in the draft, and they're not going to spend a lot of money on corner in free agency because they have the offensive line and defensive line to worry about. So I think they'll pick up a veteran to just go across from Darius Slay and again give you another veteran presence to learn from. I do believe they will keep Darius Slay as well. Talking about Jimmy Smith, he's just a perfect cornerback for the Detroit Lions. I think he fits very, very well. The first thing is he's not going to be on a huge contract, right? He's been with Baltimore his whole career. He's 32 years old, so he's not the youngest player, 1 year older than Chris Harris, but I think he just fits really well with what the Detroit Lions are trying to do. They're trying to get a 1 year type of deal for a cornerback. That's basically a prove it deal, and that's it. They don't need him for long term because I think they're going to draft another one. That'll be their long term at some point, and that guy will just kind of stay behind. And obviously, if someone goes down because of injuries, Amani can step in, or whoever they draft can step in. But right now, I think this is the perfect signing for the Detroit Lions this offseason. Like I said, this guy was looked at as one of the elite players or elite cornerbacks in the league if it wasn't for on and off injuries, which haven't been very serious, like where it's like, okay, you missed the whole season. It's more like 4 or 5 games, which is obviously hurtful and impactful, but it's, it wasn't like too serious where he's missed years on years. He's been able to play and bounce back. They've just been here and there, and they've kind of just tinkered with him, and it's messed him up. But he's been a very talented quarterback when on the field. And again, he's 32 years old, but you would think his production would have dropped a lot further than it has. But again, it really hasn't. Going back to 2017, he was an absolute beast. Really, any time before that, he was really good when it came to being on the field. 2017, his Pro Football Focus grade was actually an 82. Well, 81.9, but basically an 82. But to just stay away from Pro Football Focus for a second, let's just look at his last 2 seasons, because these are the years that he's kind of dipped a little bit and kind of went under everybody's radar. And this is kind of a good thing for the Lions because I think he could be a really big steal for the Detroit Lions for 1 year. If he's healthy, I think he's going to be an absolute steal, and he should be healthy for most of the season. Based on what we know, he'll probably miss like 3 to 4 games, which I think the Lions are going to have to take that risk because you're spending the money. If you're getting a really good cornerback that's not ever hurt, then you're going to be spending max dollars, right? We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to spend that much money. So I think Jimmy Smith works out perfectly because if you're hoping he can stay on the field more than he's not, you're going to get a really good cornerback. Yes, he's 32, but look at this production. 2018, he played in 12 games. He allowed only 54% of the passes completed. Only 54% of the passes thrown to him were completed. That's very good. 54, that's really good. We just looked at a guy today that allowed 81.5. So 54 is very, very good. 12.6 yards per completion. Wow, I can't English. He allowed 2 touchdowns, a 72 passer rating, and he also had 2 interceptions. So not only was he still out there, holding wide receivers and, not allowing a lot of big plays, at the same time, he was going out there and making plays. 2 interceptions. It's pretty good. Then last season, he had another really good season. Again, the injuries were the only thing that got in the way. He only played in 9 games, so basically half of the season, but he only allowed 56% completion percentage when he was on the field. 11.8 yards per reception, a 67 passer rating. He allowed a 67 passer rating last season. That's really, really good. 0 touchdowns and an interception. Again, he missed half the season. But through that time, the 9 games that he was in, he played very, very well. Like I'm telling you, this is a very, very good player. And what really seals the deal for me, what really just is all right, this is 100%, I think the guy the Lions will sign when it comes to cornerback is his tackling ability. Look, Chris Harris is interesting, and some people are probably expecting me to say Chris Harris. The thing with Chris Harris is this. He's a way better slot cornerback than an outside cornerback. And we have Justin Coleman there. We spent so much money there last season. I don't think the Lions want a guy like that. Now, Chris Harris can play on the outside. He's just not very good at it. He's just not as good at it. He's okay, but he's not as good. I think if you're going to spend the money, you'd rather spend the money on an outside cornerback that has to deal with injuries here and there, but he's really good at his position when he is on the field. But like I said, what really seals the deal for me when it comes to Jimmy Smith is his ability to tackle. Jimmy Smith is a great tackler. 6'2", 216-pound cornerback, which which is perfect size for Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia uses his cornerbacks to tackle a lot. You have to be able to tackle if you're a cornerback in Matt Patricia's scheme, because secondary players, they all need to be able to tackle just the way he plays. So a guy like Jimmy Smith would fit very well. Very good tackling player. 2019, he only had a 3.2% missed tackle percentage. That means only 3% of the tackles say he went up to make, he missed on. 3%, that's very, very good. One of the top in the league. I looked at some players like Rashad Breeland, who I really liked. I was like, wow, this guy could work. And then you just see his tackling ability, and that's what really was their problem there. And I'm like, no, I don't think the Lions want a guy like that. They want a guy that can do both. Jimmy Smith can do both. The one downside and why he's going to be cheaper is because, one, his age, and two, because of the injuries that he has to deal with on and off. I think this is a guy the Lions will take a chance on, because really in free agency, you're taking a chance no matter what, unless you're spending a tons of money. Lions are going to have to take a chance, and I think they're going to do it with Jimmy Smith. And when he is healthy, this man can still be an elite cornerback. You heard the numbers. This guy is an elite cornerback when healthy, and I think for a 1 year deal, it'll make a lot of sense. I think they'll go 1 year, maybe like $5 million, won't be too expensive. I just think it makes a lot of sense, and I think this is where the Lions will go in free agency. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts, and again, let me know one player that you think the Lions will sign in the comments below. It doesn't have to be this guy, it can be anybody else. Thank you, Prop, for watching, and I'm out.